based on a real story of bullying in Ireland. Welcome to our final interview of Anti-Bullying Week. This week, we've been speaking to people who've gone through bullying at some point during their lives. Today we're speaking to Sam. Hi Sam.
Hey.
Thanks so much for being here. You mentioned that you experienced bullying at 2 different points during school. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I was bullied first in first year and then again in third year. It was kind of different both times, but both made school feel pretty rough.
Can you tell us what was going on during first year?
In first year, it was mostly name calling and being picked on in class. Just constant stuff like people laughing if I asked a question or mimicking the way I spoke. I guess I stood out a bit without meaning to. It made me super self-conscious. And I started avoiding places like the bathrooms because that's where it usually happened.
That must have been a really difficult way to start secondary school.
It was. I'd always be on guard. Even when nothing was happening, I'd be bracing myself for something. That made it hard to focus though, and I just felt constantly worried.
Did you talk to anyone about it?
Yeah, I told my parents. I didn't at first because I thought maybe this was just how guys were in secondary school, or I was being too sensitive. I didn't want to worry them as well, because they were pretty stressed about me going to secondary school in the first place. But eventually I did tell them, and they helped me talk to someone in the school. That really helped.
And then it happened again in third year?
Yeah, different people this time, but it felt kind of similar. Mostly subtle stuff, you know? Like being ignored if I said something, or people whispering and laughing when I walked by. Which is easy to put down as just a coincidence, but when it happens enough times, it's harder to be so sure. It's hard to explain because sometimes people don't take it seriously unless it's really obvious or physical.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So what helped you get through it?
I read through the Student Council's Cineálta adaptation, and I was really surprised when I read that you can just ask for teachers to keep an eye on you. Now I know they're meant to do that anyway, but in fairness a lot of stuff can just look like messing or that it's not too serious. But this was actually a really big help, and I knew if things got worse I could ask for more to be done for me, if that makes sense.
Do you have any advice for someone who might be in a similar situation right now?
Well, it's not really a piece of advice, but I would love if we could all normalise talking to people. Even if something's small or hard to explain, it's still valid. We all deserve to feel safe in school, and I think, you know, there's talk about getting an anonymous bullying report form thingy? Well, I think we need to really normalise being brave and coming to tell people, whether it's a teacher, guidance counsellor, parent, friend, telling them I need help or this is affecting me, you know? I don't know if I'm explaining myself very well, but I suppose my advice is to literally tell anyone, and tell them earlier rather than later.
Thank you so much for talking to us today, Sam. That concludes our Anti-Bullying Week video series. I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks on behalf of the Student Council to everyone who has assisted in planning for this year's Anti-Bullying Week. In particular, to Mr. Tobin, the Student Council's Cineálta subcommittee, everyone who assisted in the production of this video series, namely to our animators and our voice actors, who should all appear on screen, and lastly to all of the teachers for their willingness to get behind this campaign. Thank you. The Student Council has made a document explaining everything you need to know about bullying and Cineálta. You can find this on Teams, in your homework journal, on the school website, or outside the guidance counsellors' offices on the seafloor near the art rooms. If you think you or someone you know is being bullied, the most important thing to do is to talk to someone. If you see it, call it out. It's better to regret something you did do than something you didn't.